Today, we are completely flipping the script on everything you thought you knew about getting strong. For years, we've all been fed this massive myth by the fitness industry, right? The idea that to see real results, you absolutely have to move fast, sweat buckets, and keep your heart rate redlining the entire time. But what if I told you your body is actually craving the exact opposite? Today, we're unpacking a total paradigm shift. We're going to look at why slowing down is literally the ultimate secret to transforming your physical health and building true, lasting, functional strength. So I want you to be completely honest with yourself for a second here. When you finish one of those insanely fast, hardcore workouts, how do you actually feel? Are you feeling resilient and strong? Or are you just walking away with achy joints, a stiff neck, and a lower back that's chronically sore? If you're nodding along to the latter, it is highly likely that you're building your strength on a fundamentally broken foundation. Because you're moving so fast, your muscles aren't actually firing the way they're supposed to. They've just learned how to compensate to get the movement done, which basically leaves your joints to absorb all of that collateral damage. Okay, let's dive into this. Speed is the absolute enemy of muscle growth if you're using momentum to cheat. Think about it for a second. When we bounce out of a squat or drop super quickly into a push-up, we aren't actually using our muscles to control the weight anymore, are we? We're just using gravity and momentum. We're essentially letting our entire structural foundation crumble just for the sake of going faster and racking up more reps. The contrast between these two approaches couldn't be clearer. The old, flawed way is entirely obsessed with speed, redlining your heart rate and equating a giant puddle of sweat with an effective workout. But the blueprint we're unpacking from our sources today, it relies on slow motion movements and isometric holds to literally reverse years of structural damage. We're going to walk through 5 specific slow motion moves today. Now, they might look a bit boring on paper, I'll admit, but they are expertly designed to build the kind of functional strength that actively protects you out in the real world. The physiological secret behind today's explainer boils down to 3 words: time under tension. This is all about controlled, deliberate movement. When you force your muscles to stay fully engaged throughout the entire range of motion without any help from momentum, you trigger profound adaptations in your tissue. You're building joint-protecting, functional muscle that creates actual stability. You aren't just flinging weight from point A to point B anymore. You are commanding complete, total control over your own body. Section 1. Reclaiming upper body strength. Let's move to and see how this builds the first step of our anatomical journey. Fixing the upper body with the slow tempo push-up. We're starting with an exercise almost everybody does, but honestly, almost everybody does way too fast. The setup is just a standard high plank. You want to lock your body into a perfectly straight line from your head right down to your heels. But here is where the magic happens. Instead of dropping down quickly, you're going to lower yourself over a grueling 4 to 5 seconds. Really count it out in your head. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you stop just a hair before your chest hits the floor. This deliberate, agonizing pacing completely bypasses your ability to cheat. And this brilliantly illustrates why slowing down is so incredibly effective. When you control that descent, doing just 6 to 8 of these slow reps forces your muscles to carry the full physical load for every single inch of the movement. According to the source material, just 8 reps done this way will leave your chest, shoulders, and triceps far more fatigued than banging out 50 fast momentum-driven push-ups. You're basically trading junk volume for high-quality, growth-inducing tension. Now, our second upper body move shifts the focus from pushing over to pulling, and it's perhaps one of the most overlooked strength builders in existence. It's the dead hang. The steps are deceptively simple. Step 1, grip a pull-up bar. Step 2, let your feet leave the ground. But step 3 is absolutely critical. You have to keep your shoulders active. This means you want a slight engagement across the top of your upper back so that you aren't just dumping all of your body weight straight into your shoulder joints. You're aiming to hold this for 20 to 30 seconds at first, and then eventually work your way up to a full minute or 2. Now, you might be wondering, why just hang there? Well, not only does this simple movement beautifully decompress your spine, giving your back a seriously much-needed break from gravity, but it forces your grip to work incredibly hard. And as our source highlights, grip strength isn't just about showing off by opening stubborn pickle jars. It's actually one of the most reliable indicators of your overall health and how well your body is functionally aging. By simply hanging, you are sending a powerful signal of resilience to your entire nervous system. Section 2. Curing the desk worker. Let's shift our focus down the body to address the specific structural damage caused by sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of glute amnesia. If you sit at a desk all day, commute in a car, and then relax on a couch at night, you are likely suffering from this modern crisis. It sounds kind of funny, I know, but it is a genuine disaster for your posture. Years of sitting essentially train your butt muscles to completely shut off. And when your primary pelvic stabilizers go to sleep, your fragile lower back is forced to pick up the slack for literally everything you do. The absolute best cure for this is our third move, the glute bridge isometric hold. Here is exactly how you execute this hold to cure that glute amnesia. You lie on your back with your knees bent, and you lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from your knees right down to your shoulders. But remember, we are moving slowly. Don't just bounce up and down. Hold that top position for a full 30 to 45 seconds. And if you aren't totally sure if your glutes are actually working, reach back and physically touch them. They should feel rock hard. Here's a brilliant mental cue from the source. Imagine pulling your heels toward your body without actually moving them. That tiny mental shift alone forces the glutes to finally wake up and take over the work from your hamstrings. Section 3. The lost human posture. This transitions us into the final phase of our bodily rebuild, focusing on forgotten rotational mobility and evolutionary resting positions. To fix the damage of our modern habits, we have to transition into forgotten mobility. Our fourth move is called thread the needle, and it specifically targets that deep, stubborn stiffness in your thoracic spine and upper back. You know, the exact stiffness that comes from hunching over a laptop or staring down at a phone all day. You start on all fours, reach one arm underneath your body, and deliberately follow that hand with your eyes as you rotate. The absolute key here is to avoid rushing. Slower is better. By slowing down, you're actively teaching your spine how to rotate safely, restoring fluidity to your upper body, and just melting away all that built-up tension. Finally, we arrive at the fifth move, the resting squat. I want to be super clear here. This is not a squat for doing repetitions. It's a restorative, low-impact, evolutionary position that humans are quite literally designed to spend long periods of time in. It's the ultimate natural human posture. And yet, because of office chairs and plush modern furniture, it's a position that most of us have completely forgotten how to hold comfortably. To get into the resting squat, you just sink down deep with your feet roughly shoulder-width apart, making sure that your heels remain completely flat on the ground. If you find yourself falling backward, which is super common at first, no problem at all. Just hold on to a door frame or a sturdy countertop for stability while you work on it. Spending just a few minutes a day in this position works absolute wonders. It naturally lubricates your hips, knees, and ankles. Plus, it forces your core to engage to keep you upright, which actively builds lower body endurance and fixes your posture right from the ground up. Section 4. Your functional blueprint. So let's tie this all together. We've covered the slow tempo push-up, the dead hang, the glute bridge isometric hold, thread the needle, and the resting squat. Now, these 5 moves might not leave you gasping for air like some crazy high-intensity crush session, but what they're doing behind the scenes is far more valuable. They are building the deep structural integrity that makes literally every other movement in your life feel vastly easier and a whole lot safer. If you're ready to stop guessing and really tie these stability patterns together, our source material highly recommends exploring the Reset Your Body Blueprint. It's a complete system that seamlessly links these mobility and stability patterns together. It's basically the ultimate toolkit for anyone who's exhausted by the endless cycle of high-speed injuries and just wants to build functional health with results that actually stick. Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up today's explainer. The next time you step into the gym or roll out your mat at home, will you keep chasing the illusion of speed and momentum, or are you ready to finally slow down and build a body that's truly built to last? Do yourself a favor. Try applying that agonizing 4 to 5 second descent to your very next set of push-ups and just feel the difference for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into functional health. I'll see you in the next explainer.